9 money myths designed to keep you broke. What if everything you were taught about money is wrong? What if your parents were indoctrinated and they had no idea that everything that they taught you about money, you now need to unlearn? I amassed £50,000 of consumer debt by age 26 and 11 months. I had, for me, an horrendous thing that happened in my life to someone I love dearly. And that changed everything that I believed about money and the system. I'll come to that. And then fast forward 1 year from then, with nothing else really different, I paid off the 50 grand's worth of debt with money I didn't think I had. Then I made my first 100 grand a year clear in that year. And then I became a millionaire by age 31, a decamillionaire by age 35, and now I'm 46 plus VAT. And I'm going to share with you what I believe are the 9 money myths designed to keep you broke. The first money myth designed to keep you broke is that you can save your way to retirement or your financial future or your pension. This is a complete myth. Saving will never make you rich. It's impossible to save money and become wealthy and rich. Savers are losers. You do not make money on savings. The bank makes money on savings. Now, if you look at inflation today, inflation is higher than interest. Now, you get charged all the inflation, but when you save money, you don't get past all the interest. But then when you borrow money, you pay all the interest and a margin on top. So on what you borrow and what you save and the inflation rate, you are net negative. Even just the interest rate versus inflation over time that you're passed on from the banks, inflation is higher than interest historically. It's shocking because the banks do not pass on to you the interest when you're saving, but they add a margin onto the interest when you're borrowing. So right now, just on a basic level, inflation is more than interest. So you lose money saving. Savers are losers. Now I have my SIM model for getting rich. Store, invest, multiply. Not save. So if I was running the education system for personal finance, which by the way is my mission is to help as many people on the planet get better financial knowledge. I understand that the school system doesn't really want me exposing what's best for the population because that's not best for the banks, because the only way the banks make money is on your money. Now, they can print money out of thin air, not working or exchanging any value for that money. Then they can lend it back to you, and then they want to entice and draw you in for you to save money. If you knew that saving money lost you money, you wouldn't put money in the banks. And if that myth, that propaganda was exposed, possibly overnight the banks would go bust. So I don't think saving money is the best way to build wealth. I think storing money to then invest money, store, invest, multiply, is the best way to build wealth. Now, sometimes you've got to store your money in the bank because you need it quickly, or maybe when interest rates are high, it's good to store it in the bank. But see, as storage, not saving, because saving benefits the banks. Right, now we'll come back to store, invest, multiply. I want to move on to the second myth. This is a major myth. Investing is risky. No, not investing is more risky. Because people save, yes, because they've been indoctrinated by the propaganda of the school system and the banks and consumerism, etc. But they also think that investing money is risky and they might lose it. Well, you're going to lose your money death by 1,000 cuts if you save it. Chinese water torture if you save it. And sometimes if you lose it really slowly, it's worse because you don't notice it. So at the end of every single one of my Disruptors podcast episodes and on nearly all of my content on social media, I end with the quote. Can anyone guess it? Put it in the comments. If you don't risk anything, you risk everything. If you think investing is risky, try not investing. Try just working and exchanging time for money. Try saving and not investing. And if you track over time, even the most basic investments versus basic investments versus best savings accounts, investments way outperform. In the last 100 years, just the standard stock market, S&P 500, FTSE 100, has done more than 10% a year. Some funds like Vanguard Life Strategy have done even more, maybe 12% a year. Saving has done negative because of inflation more than interest. But let's give them the benefit of the doubt and assume zero inflation, which we can't, but let's do that. You might make on average whatever the interest rates are on average. You might make 3 or 4% saving without inflation. You make 10 plus. Even if, right, get this, because people think investing is risky because they haven't been taught it. It's not taught in school. But get this. If you go back over the last 100 years and you picked the worst time in history before the biggest depressions or crashes to invest your money, you'd have still made over 6% on your money a year as long as you didn't sell. So investing is not risky. Not investing is risky. Now, of course, you need to learn how to invest, but you also need to unlearn that saving money and hoarding money, will look after your pension and your retirement and that the banks have got your best interests at heart. But actually, sticking money in an investment account like Charles Stanley or Hargreaves Lansdowne and opening up your ISA in the UK or just putting money into the S&P 500 or into Vanguard Life Strategy Fund and setting, 60% equity and 40% bonds and having the accumulation turned on so you reinvest your dividends and direct debiting £50 a month if that's all you can afford, 100, 150, 200, just keep upping it. As you earn more money, don't have lifestyle creep, have investing creep. Increase up your direct debits, just stick them in S&P 500, FTSE 100. In 10, 20 years, 30 years, there's going to become a day in the not too distant future where you're going to become a millionaire, then a multimillionaire, and then you're going to be able to live off the income. Okay, number 3 of 9 money myths designed to keep you poor by the system is that consumerism and that money buys things. Money does not buy anything. Money was partly designed so we could transact, so you could be taxed. Because when we had barter, we would just exchange goods and services to each other. The butcher prepares meat for the baker bakes for the candlestick maker makes candles for the butcher, and we all exchange privately with each other within the village, and we all serve each other. And every single exchange isn't tracked by an app or a digital ID or IRS or HMRC, and there was no taxable event. Now, if you want to build vast amounts of wealth, then you've got to get good at storing your valuable time, and then you've got to create value, solve problems for people at scale, or give them valuable products and services and care and attention and information and guidance and support. And then your energy, your life force energy that you exchange to earn money, to receive it, is stored in your money. Low energy, low money, high energy, high money. Low value, low money, high value, high money. So remember that money is a store of time, value, and energy. Don't go into making excuses or blaming or complaining or defending or justifying and saying it's someone else's fault, it's the government's fault, it's Labour's fault, it's my parents' fault. No, you just need to put more value, time, and energy into what you do to convert that into more money. Okay, number 4. Now, this is a religious doctrine which I believe to be wrong. So, in some religious scripture, it says that the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. And of course, that's been simplified to the love of money is the root of all evil, or money is the root of all evil. And sometimes people say, oh yeah, but even the original quote, the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Maybe that's been mistranslated, I don't know, but that's how it is read today. Money is not the root of all evil. The love of money is not the root of all evil. This is a myth. This is a projection of a religion. The root of all evil is evil. Now, you can be a nice person and rich, or you can be a rich twat. You can be a nice person and broke, and you can be a broke twat. How nice you are, or what good you do in the world, has nothing to do with money. It has everything to do with you. There are billionaires who've died broke, who've given away their billions in their older age. Many schools and hospitals and universities were built by billionaires. There are evil billionaires, there are philanthropic billionaires. There are evil zero-heirs, good billionaires, evil zero-heirs, evil billionaires. There are all kinds. You loving money doesn't make you evil. You being evil makes you evil. Money can't judge. Money doesn't have a conscience. Money is energy, but it doesn't have consciousness. You could take a $20 bill and you could feed 20 poor kids in an African country for 20 days. You could give them food, water, shelter, and safety with $20 in an African country. You could take that same $20 and buy 20 bullets and put it in a magazine and shoot the same 20 kids. What's the difference? It's not money. Money was the medium of exchange. Money was the stored energy of the person who had the money. So it's the intention of the person, not money itself. And this is really important, because if you believe that money or the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil, you will never make any money. You will always stay broke, because you would never want to project that you're an evil person. You can do good and be rich. You can give lots of money away and be rich. You can help people and support charities and be rich. In fact, it's pretty hard to support charities when you're broke. Okay, number 5. They say that money changes you. Well, that's only broke people who say that. Significant emotional events and trauma changes you. But other than that, you are who you are. You've probably got thoughts and feelings and emotions that come up in daily life that were from your childhood. You are who you are, and a piece of paper or a polymer note or a digital transaction is not going to change you. Money does not change you. It does expose you. It does exaggerate you. It does make you more of who you already are. If you're a philanthropist and you get billions, you're going to give billions away and do good in the world. If you're a gambler or a drug addict and you get hundreds or thousands of pounds, you're probably going to gamble it or inject it or snort it or smoke it, however you take your drugs. Number 6 money myth designed to keep you broke is that money doesn't make you happy. Said no billionaire ever. Look, I've done the split test, okay? Before anybody says money doesn't make you happy, at least try it. You know, your kids, they don't like the food that they've never tried, and you're trying to get them to try it, and then finally they try it, and hallelujah, they quite like it, and they don't want to admit it at first. Well, that's the same with broke people talking about money. I have been broke, and I am rich, and I can tell you I am happier rich. Now, look, you can be unhappy rich, just like you can be unhappy broke. And by the way, when you're broke, you have broke people's problems. And when you're rich, you just have rich people's problems. It's not like the problems go away, but you have a higher quality of problems. If I had a choice between rich people's problems and broke people's problems, I'll take rich people's problems. I mean, money buys freedom. You know, my dad's been very ill this year and I pay for his private care. And, you know, I said something significant happened to me that was really painful for me. It involved my family. And driven by that, I retired my parents 3 or 4 years later. I learned to fly the helicopter, which was a childhood dream. I managed to buy the classic cars that were put up on my wall as a child. I'm able to donate randomly, goods amounts of money to charities and foundations. I pay millions in taxes. I hire more than 100 staff. These are all good things that I do with money that make me happy. Okay, number 7. They say, don't they, that you need money to make money. This is a myth. You do not need money to make money because you can have money and lose it. You don't need money to make money, and often you lose money with money. Now, can you make money with money if you're smart with your investing? Of course you can. But actually, way beyond money is resourcefulness, creativity, value, energy, ideas, solutions to problems, leveraging trends, educating people, supporting people. These don't require any money. It's not a lack of resources, it's a lack of resourcefulness. As humans, we create. From the seed of a thought comes cathedrals, comes missions to the moon, comes the curing of all or most disease, comes the greatest inventions, comes the greatest art, all from the seed of a thought. We are all manifestors, we are all creators, we are all alchemists. And that starts with a thought, it doesn't start with a load of money. And the only reason you believe it takes money to make money is because you haven't got any, and so you've made it an excuse for you to not start or to not fail or to not try or to not take a risk. Oh, well, I didn't have any money to start. Well, nor did nearly every modern billionaire. Most billionaires and millionaires now are self-made. Okay, 100 or 200 years ago, most of the rich people were inherited wealth. And some of them are still going because of the great momentum of their billions, like, the Walton family from Walmart. But actually now there's way more self-made millionaires and billionaires than there are inherited millionaires and billionaires. And actually much inherited wealth is squandered in the second or latest third generation. Number 8 of 9 myths designed to keep you poor or broke. A lot of people say that becoming wealthy is lucky. And I actually know some successful people who say this. But here's the thing. Bill Gates said it best. Don't shoot me for this. But he said, if you're born poor, it's not your fault. If you die poor, it is your fault. Now, I had a discussion, debate, argument with a multimillionaire about this just recently. Because, he said, is success luck? And I said, mostly no. And he said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, look. If you are born in a developing African country where water can kill you and you have to walk 20 miles just to get it, and there's no internet, and there's no education, and there's no healthcare, and there's nothing, then it's not your fault that you're poor. But as soon as you can get education, as soon as you can get the internet, as soon as you can get yourself into a developed country, as soon as you can get onto YouTube, then it is your fault. Because the information is there. But you're holding on to, oh, well, I'm unlucky. Oh, well, I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm not smart enough. I'm too smart. And all these things in your head are justifications and defending of your basically flaws and failings of not becoming wealthy or successful. Because let's be honest, who doesn't want more money? Like even the most far left, Labour voter, offer them a nicer house, a nicer car, they'll happily take it off the rich. So you must understand, I believe, it doesn't take money to make money. And wealth is nothing to do with luck as long as you're in the developed world. And it's everything to do with, 1, your self-education. And making sure you're not indoctrinated by the system. And hopefully this content is helping with that. Learning from the right people. Networking with the right people. Have you heard the saying, your network is your net worth? Making sure that you expose yourself to proven strategies and tactics, but you immunize yourself from negativity and the crabs in the bucket. Now, have some billionaires ridden a trend and they were lucky? Well, there was an element of luck, and I think they mostly acknowledged that. So, was Bill Gates and were Steve Jobs and Bill Gates and Elon Musk, kind of lucky that they were born in this generation in America where they had access to computers when computers were hundreds of thousands of dollars? Well, that element was luck, yeah. But did they work hard? Yes. And smart? Yes. Did they get themselves around smart people? Yes. Did they read and study voraciously and passionately? Yes. Did they keep going? Yes. Did they hit multiple failures and roadblocks and bottlenecks? Yes. Did they push through them? Yes. Did they keep going? Yes. So, Gary Player, one of the most famous golfers ever lived, he said, the harder I practiced, the luckier I got. Luck is a part. And maybe, the difference between 50 million and 5 billion, maybe that is more luck. But from 0 to 1 million, I think that is more strategy and actions and habits and choices and things that are in your control. The only thing that isn't in control for you is luck, but you can put yourself in the position to be more lucky. Okay, and then the final of 9, money myths designed to keep you broke. And actually, a lot of people, when they tell you about being rich people, they say, it's how hard you work. You got to get up before everyone else. You got to stay in the office and you got to be the first one to arrive and the last one to leave. This is actually a myth now. Yes, hard work is important, especially making that first 100 grand. That first 100 grand is a lot harder than that first mil. That first mil is a lot harder than the 10th mil, and the 10th mil is a lot harder than the 100th mil. Have you ever seen World's Strongest Man? When they do the truck pull? How, you got 25 stone, 130 kilo guys, strongest men in the world, and they can't even move a truck. Of course, it's a big, heavy truck. It's, what is it, 7-10 tons? I don't know. And they put all their energy into just getting the wheel to just move millimeters. Once that truck is moving, there's lots of momentum and velocity. And it's the same for you and starting your business. So you've got to work hard at the start, yes, but you've got to work smart. You've got to leverage people, ideas, mentors. Now, talking about leveraging mentors and standing on the shoulders of giants, I've built a power team of investors, gold, silver, Bitcoin, real estate. I've built a power team of creators and information experts who teach online businesses. And I've put them together in like a power team, like the X-Men of education. And I do a very special but very limited number and only a handful of times a year event called Money Maker Summit Live. I do 5 of the keynote speeches. I bring in my power team of investors, experts, entrepreneurs, information and internet business builders, property investors. And over 3 days, we're going to teach you how to make, manage, and multiply money, build multiple streams of recurring income, get your tax bill down in a private session, get your income streams up, your earning power up, your leverage up, help you get that business off the ground or help you grow that business. And it's called the Money Maker Summit Live. And if you're really hard up financially, you could claim one of the sponsor tickets. I sponsor about 20 people per event. But the upgraded VIP ticket, you get private lunch with me, and which I pay for. You get a private dinner with me and the multimillionaire mentors. You just have to cover the cost of dinner. It's not a lot because I'm just outside London, so it's not too expensive. We've got champagne reception, private Q&As with all the multimillionaires. We've got bonus money mindset sessions on both days. We've got loads of great upgrades. A 15-module How to Raise Money masterclass is also, you get that just on the upgraded ticket. So the dates, the details, the speakers, what you're going to learn, the upgraded ticket options are all at this link. robmoore.live/MMS, as in Money Maker Summit. Let me teach you how to be rich, because I became rich despite the system. But many of you are still broke or just over broke because of the system. You have to break free from the system. The system was designed for the industrial age. The system is designed for debt, interest, and taxes, not your wealth and freedom. And I can help you. And I'm on a mission to help as many people on this planet get better financial knowledge. I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm going to do this for another 60 years with or without you. But look, let me help you in these disruptive times. So thanks for tuning in. Remember to invest for freedom, choice, and profit. Wherever you're watching or listening, just make sure you are subscribed, because I'm now doing more content, because I'm on more of a mission to help people. Now I'm 20 years in, I feel like I've warmed up and I'm ready to go. So make sure you are subscribed, because then you'll see more of my content. I look forward to meeting you personally. If you've been a voyeur of me, watching and perving from a distance, it's time that we met. Because, you know, business is done in the room. Proper connections are done in the room, looking into the whites of the eyes, you know, being in the energy, exchanging conversations with people over dinner and lunch. And this is all at the Moneymaker Summit. Because if you don't risk anything, you risk everything.